sadly, people don't think about it as a long-term goal. They think about it more as a short-term goal. Now, I remember I was on a business trip probably back in 2006 or 7, I think it was, where I started to learn about the concept of earning interest instead of paying interest. I mean, it seems like logical. Most people understand that it's better to earn interest than to pay interest. However, most people pay interest rather than earning interest. I mean, think about it. If you have a car loan, then you are most likely paying interest, maybe a lot of interest. Do you even know what your interest rate is on your car loan? Because most likely you do have a car loan, like almost everybody, right? Find out what that is. Again, if you're just now learning about personal finance, you'll want to nail down exactly what interest you're paying on things like a car loan, as well as your mortgage. Many of you probably have a mortgage, I know. Many of you may be renting. You may not own a property quite yet. Someday maybe you will if you want to. But find out exactly, if you don't know, and believe it or not, some people don't know what they're paying in terms of interest on their mortgage. You may have credit card debt. Most likely you're paying very high interest on your credit card debt. Again, most people live their lives having loans that they pay interest on. We don't want that. We want to be different than most everybody else, right? And so years ago, I was on a business trip, and I was reading a financial book, I forget which one, and they made it clear that we should be earning interest rather than paying interest. It's a no-brainer. Then why do most people pay interest and not earn interest? So, you may recall from my previous episodes, I've got some CDs that are paying interest, quite a bit of interest, 4%, 5%. These are really good times right now in mid-2024 when you can still get very high interest on online savings accounts as well as CDs. So dial in and know exactly what interest you are earning. Hopefully you are earning interest. If you're not, you need to start thinking about shifting from paying to earning interest. So you guys know I've got 2 CDs, $80,000. One CD matures in 1 year or less. The other CD I got early this year was a 3-year CD. You may also recall that I'm putting everything on a credit card right now for things like food, gas, going out to dinner, etc. I'm putting that on a Chase Visa card with 0% interest, and that expires in February of 2025. And so I'm continuing to put all of those things on that card. Don't do that, however, if you cannot teach yourself to have willpower. If you don't have willpower, don't get a credit card, right? But you can leverage the fact that you could have a 0% on a credit card and put all of your expenses on that credit card. And I know that I will then pay it off in February of 2025. Right now it sits at about, I think, $7,000 that I have on there. interest. What a great deal is that? But again, just a little bit of a disclaimer: if you cannot handle using your credit card just for essentials, then don't do it. So I'm paying, I'm sorry, I'm earning interest on my CDs, my online savings account, and I'm earning interest on everything else that I have. What else do I have? I've got, obviously, my 401k, although that's in the stock market, so that's a little bit different. But as long as the markets are going up, which they are, then you are, of course, most likely earning interest within those accounts. And you know, it's dividends, unrealized gains, but then you have interest in the form of bonds as well. And you guys know I have a savings bond of $20,000. I'm thinking of maybe cashing that out someday, maybe not quite yet, but it probably would be better suited in an online savings account. But for now, it is earning interest. So the point of this video really is to really get you to start thinking about that mind shift where you're going to go from paying interest to earning interest. And again, I know this sounds really trivial, but I think it's important for people to understand that you can really earn quite a bit of interest and unrealized gains in the stock market as well. I mean, as you get older and as you're making more money and you're keeping your expenses down, I've run little scenarios on spreadsheets where I realized, I'm like, wow, I am actually making potentially more money every single year than I'm getting from my W-2 job, right? You get to a point where you're like, wait a minute, I have this job, but I'm also earning interest every year, and it fluctuates every year, as you guys know. But overall, then you're shifting from that mindset of paying interest and you're earning it. And what's interesting about this equation too is that if you have debt and you're paying interest and you're earning interest, that can net to zero. You've got to start thinking that way. Does that make sense? If it nets to zero, you're not earning any interest at all. You're paying interest over here, you're earning interest here. But if you do the math, it says 0%. What good is that? Now, as I think about closing this short video, I also know that for many people, it takes years and years and years to change your situation. So keep that in mind. I'm not expecting you to make changes right away, but when you start mapping out the next 12 months, the next 3 years, the next 5 years, interest rates on that debt. Nobody gives you free money. um, so, you know, as you start thinking about if you're in your 20s right now and you're going into your 30s, always have a benchmark date that you get to where you say, now I'm at a net worth of 0. And you have to sustain that. You can't go out and buy more stuff, right? You just can't do it. You've got to learn to keep on track. And then if you get to a net worth 0, again, applaud yourself, congratulate yourself, and say, now, don't make any more mistakes. You're not going to buy another big house. You're not going to have more interest that you're going to pay. You're going to segue into now perhaps the next 15 years of your life earning interest, right? I mean, to close out this video, when I look back over 30 years, 15 of those years, from age 25 to 40, I was making a lot of mistakes. From 40 to 55 and into 58, I made all the right moves. So think about that. That's a 30-year time frame or a 35-year time frame. It comes and goes very quickly. You'll be waking up someday and being like, oh my gosh, I'm 45 years old. And you're going to think back on this video and say, you know what? I should have listened to that crazy guy that has all those videos, that ASMR Money Mentor guy. I should have really listened to him because now I'm stuck paying this interest for the next 10, 15, or 20 years, and I can never quit my job. I have to keep working until I'm 70 years old or something, right? Okay, so the point of this video again, and I'll let you go, is try your best to segue into earning interest and not paying it. So thank you so much for joining me, guys, on this video today. If you like content like this, give me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing.